This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Today I'm sharing my favorite no-fuss outfit ideas, style hacks, and go-to pieces for when it's super hot outside. You don't want to care too much, but you still want to look good. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome to my channel. Now, I've just got back from a month in the States and I spent a lot of the time there in Florida, and gosh, it was super hot. I was there to move my son from high school to his new college, which was super exciting, and we did so many cool things together. I took my other son, so it was just the three of us doing all sorts of fun things. We went on an airboat ride, we went to the beach, I saw a rocket launch. Like, we just had so much fun. But the overriding thing was the heat. It was so hot, and that's what made me think that I would love to share some of the tips and tricks that really worked for me so I could still feel a little bit pulled together and a little bit stylish without sweating and feeling just so hot and uncomfortable. So today I really hope you enjoy these tips and tricks, and please let me know in the comments below if you also have some tips and tricks for keeping cool when it is hot outside. I just looked at the temperature in Phoenix at the moment, and wow, that's just off the charts. So if you've got any hacks or tips that you use apart from staying inside and just sitting by the AC, I would love to hear about them. Now, first up, don't fall into the trap of thinking that wearing pieces that show more skin are going to keep you cooler, because in fact, the opposite is almost true. So wearing pieces that are floaty and airy are always going to keep you cooler. Now, the reason for this is simply that, say for instance, you were wearing a tank and a pair of shorts versus a beautiful floaty maxi dress. Now, the tank and shorts may look like a really cool option, but they cling to your body, and anything that doesn't allow any airflow is automatically going to make you feel hotter. Whereas a dress that perhaps doesn't cling and it's just a little bit looser and more forgiving is just going to allow that airflow, which ultimately will keep you cooler. So it is very much a trap where you think that you can wear pieces that show more skin, but in fact, these don't always keep you cooler. It depends on the fit and how much airflow and breathability they have, which is one of the reasons why I always opt for, say, a maxi dress that really allows for plenty of airflow and breathability, or something like a floaty pair of linen pants and perhaps a linen shirt. It's going to give you that airflow, which is far more cooling than just exposing skin in more of a fitted silhouette. It's a little bit of a trap, but it's definitely one that works. One of the things that I swear by is a cool down kit. Now, this is something that you can keep in your handbag or your tote bag, your beach bag, but just a few little essentials that definitely help to cool you down. Even things like an old school folding fan, or some mini deodorant, or even some of the makeup blotting papers to kind of take some of that shine off. Even a travel-sized perfume. I saw some great travel-sized perfume options from Sephora. A few cool-down essentials that do just make life a little bit easier. Now, the other thing that I found and I added to my cool-down essentials when I was in Florida was a product which I'll show you now. It's called, what is it called? Kopari. Now, this is a product that was fed to me on my Instagram feed. The whole time I was in the States, whenever I would log on to Instagram and have a little look, I kept getting served this ad. In the end, I caved, went into Sephora and I bought myself some, and it's turned out to be one of the best things ever. So you shake it up. It is called the Kopari Sun Glaze Sheer Setting Mist, but it also has a sunscreen in it. So I kept this in the car or in my purse if I could fit it, and I just spritzed my face throughout the day. It gave my skin a beautiful glow. It also topped up my sunscreen, and it was just a really cooling mist. I even spritzed it over my shoulders. This was actually a winner. I've been scammed so many times buying things on Instagram that late at night where I think this looks amazing and it turns out it's not so amazing. But this little product has been a winner. I will leave a link to it in the description box below. This is not sponsored by these guys, but it is one of those products that I have found to be just fabulous. Now, my next tip is to opt for footwear that breathes. Now, I love a sneaker as much as the next person, but wearing a breathable shoe option or a sandal is the only way to go when it's really hot outside. Now, don't worry, I do have options here if you don't like showing so much of your feet. There are plenty of options this summer available for you that are going to let your feet breathe, give them some air, but also cover you up a little bit. Now, if you're like me and you don't like exposing your feet, then the best option this summer is a woven style ballet flat. Now, there are lots of them around. They're flat, so obviously they're going to give you that comfort, and the open sort of weave of the shoe means that they are going to be really breathable. Now, the reason that I particularly like them is because they are still a summer shoe. They let your feet breathe, but they give you that coverage. Now, I don't like showing my feet too much, so this is a shoe that's definitely perfect for anyone like me. The ultimate in cool and comfort for summer footwear is a flip-flop. Now, I know this isn't going to be right for everyone, but you can opt for something like your classic Havaiana or go for a flip-flop that's a little bit more elevated, whether it's a leather style flip-flop or even a kitten heel style. Whatever works for you, a flip-flop is going to be a great option. And the final option is sandals with some interesting details. Now, these are perfect if, like me, you've got bunions and you don't want to show off too much of your feet, but you do want to keep them cool. And some of these cute little details just add a little bit of interest, and they also at the same time cover some unsightly parts of your feet if you don't like showing them off. But sandals, even a pair of espadrilles, are definitely going to keep your feet cool. And I don't know about you guys, but if my feet are hot or if they're sweating in shoes, I just can't feel happy in the heat. And I really found that when I was in Florida. Just keeping my feet cool, a little bit like keeping my head cool, was another way of just ultimately keeping my cool. And at this point, I'm just going to take a brief moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that is Squarespace. If you haven't heard of Squarespace before, they're an online website builder and host. I've used them for many years now to host my website and others. Squarespace also fairly recently introduced a very cool AI feature, which I'm a huge fan of. This feature is called Design Intelligence, and it's made it even easier for anyone to build a stunning, personalized website that does everything you need it to do, including creating an online store to sell physical or digital products. It helps you create and sell online courses. And the great thing is that you don't need any tech skills with Squarespace. If I can do it, you can do it. Squarespace also has these amazing ready-made templates to choose from, which makes getting online really quick. So if you haven't tried Squarespace before, what I do suggest you do is whip on over to squarespace.com, take advantage of the free trial, and when you're ready to launch yourself online, use my unique URL, which is squarespace.com/The Style Insider, and my code, which is simply The Style Insider, and that will give you 10% off your first website or domain. I will leave a link in the description box below to make it easy for you. But if you are planning to do anything online, whether it is selling products or just creating a website for your business, whatever it may be, Squarespace is by far the easiest way to do it. So take advantage of this offer. One of the easy tips when it comes to keeping cool over summer is to opt for lighter colors when you're getting dressed. Now, I think we probably all know that black and really dark colors attract the heat and the sunlight, and not only do they attract the heat, but they also trap it in as well. So try tone on tone dressing in light neutrals, and it really doesn't matter what you wear as long as it's not sticking to your body, it's giving you that breathability that we talked about earlier, and that tone on tone dressing is always super chic. So it will keep you cooler and it will keep you looking a little bit more elegant and elevated when it's hot too. I have noticed that there's lots of linen, sort of gauzy drawstring pants around this summer, and these would make a perfect option. So whether you want to pair them with a slightly looser fitting tank for just a comfortable, cool, tone-on-tone outfit. Next up, I wanted to talk about how you can create shape in an outfit without adding layers. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like wearing too many layers when it's hot outside. And I would just try some really simple styling hacks like a side tuck, or rolling up the sleeves of a button down, or tying a button down at the waist. Just some styling tricks that are going to give your outfit some shape, a little bit of intention without the need for those sort of heat trapping layers. Now, my next tip is to ditch padded bras and bras with underwires, if you can. Now, I recently worked with a brand here on my channel called COMFELIE, and they create the most amazing and super comfortable and supportive bras that don't have underwires and they don't have padding, or they have a padded cup that you can remove. Now, these bras are amazing. They have a huge size range. I'll leave a link to them in the description box below. I did have a discount code. I'm not sure if that's still valid, but I will leave it below in case it is. But padded bras are definitely going to up the heat and promote more sweating, and certainly an underwire that really kind of digs in, you sit down. It is also going to potentially promote sweating in summer as well. So if you can avoid this, and I know that you can because there are bras and camisole tops and crop tops that are going to give you that support, but also give you that comfort without those extra layers and that extra bulk of padding. One of the other pesky things that can happen in summer is the inner thigh chafing. Now, there are some beautiful natural bamboo sort of slip pants that you can wear under your skirts and dresses. Not only do they stop that inner thigh chafing, but they also are breathable and soft and are just far more comfortable to wear over summer as well. I'll leave a link to a couple of pairs that I've found recently. I don't personally wear them, but I do have a friend that does. And there's no shame in this. If your inner thighs do tend to rub together, that is going to cause chafing and soreness when it's hot outside. You don't have to deal with this. So check out that link in the description box below for a couple of pairs that I've found that work really well. When it's too hot to add layers to your outfits, one of the other things that you can do is accessorize. Now, I mentioned earlier about employing some styling tricks to add some interest to your outfits, but another thing that you can do is add accessories. What I do find is really helpful is to add one elevated accessory to your outfit. Now, this could be something as simple as a pair of statement sunglasses. It could be a gorgeous raffia hat, or even some beautiful bold earrings. You might even want to add a silk scarf around your waist or tie it to your handbag. It's about adding an accessory to an outfit to add some polish, but without adding any heat. Next up, you can also consider freezing your linens and cottons. Now, I know this one does sound a little bit crazy, but if you really want to cool down when you know you're going to walk outside and it's going to feel like a sauna, you can put your cotton and linen fabrics in the freezer for 10 minutes before you put them on and head out. And you really just give yourself a bit of a head start with cooling down. Even if you've just got to make it from the door, your front door, to the car. And I know that that can even be enough to be sweltering and overwhelming. Popping some of your natural pieces, even if it's a skirt or a cute little tank, whatever it may be, pop it in the freezer for 10 minutes, put it on. It is cooling, and as I said, it's going to give you a little bit of a head start. The other great thing about this trick is that it not only cools your whole body down, but it also eliminates any wrinkles in your pieces. So you look a little bit more put together and you feel a whole lot cooler for a short space of time too. I also wanted to share some very simple sweat-proof styling tricks that I use on the regular. Now, it almost goes without saying, but I am going to add this in here as a reminder that natural fabrics will allow your skin and your body to breathe, whereas polyesters and man-made fabrics will do the opposite. Oh, and speaking of natural fibers, one of the things that I do in summer, and not so much when I'm traveling because it's not quite as convenient, but if I'm wearing natural fibers and fabrics like linens, I give them a little bit of what I tend to call a dry clean. And it's basically just spritzing them with a combination of vodka. Yes, you have to go to your spirits cupboard here. A combination of vodka and water. And you can spritz some of your natural fibers only. Don't try this on polyester or some of your man-made fibers because it will stain. But a natural fiber, you can basically deodorize it with this combination, whether you just want to sort of spritz your pieces under the arms or just give them a little spritz all over. It freshens them, it deodorizes them, and it just means that you don't have to wash these pieces as much. And that recipe is simply 1 part vodka to 3 parts water. So it's a really watered down mixture. And this one is definitely a case of don't knock it until you try it. It actually works and I love it. So yes, it is possible to keep cool and still look stylish, even in crazy 100-degree plus heat. Oh, and if you want any more tips on getting the most from your wardrobe, regardless of the weather, then check out my new ebook called Shop Your Closet. 30 Days to Wearing and Loving All the Clothes You Own. Shop Your Closet is a 100-page style kickstart. It's packed full of tools, prompts, and smart strategies to help you finally wear all of those clothes that are hanging in your closet. It's no secret that most of us only wear a small portion of the clothes we own, and times are tough. I think now is the time that we need to look really hard at the clothes that we own and just make them work for us. We've bought them for a reason, and often there are a few things that we're not doing, and that's the reason why we're not wearing them. These things are simple changes, simple tweaks, and almost mindset shifts. And my book will guide you through how to make these simple adjustments so that you can wear all of the clothes that you currently own. I'll leave a link to my book in the description box below, but if you do want to make the most of your wardrobe once and for all, then I know that this book will definitely help you do that. Anyway, if you did get some value out of today's episode, then I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I will see you real soon. Bye for now.